world from a living nightmare.
Welcome to my Counter-Fatalis bow build video. Today I'm going to go over three main Counter-Fatalis builds. The first will include no Fatalis gear, intended to be for people who need their first kill or need their first few kills to get the armor. The second will include one piece of Fatalis gear, intended as a bridge for farming Fatalis till you can unlock more of the gear. The third set includes 4 pieces of Fatalis gear and is good for just farming Fatalis after you've finished everything, or if you just want to kill him to improve your time. I will also include a couple of cheese builds, that is a ghillie bomb cannon build for an opener, and an optional ghillie bomb, poison, and cannon build for phase 3. All the builds use Alatreon commandment, so they have access to paralysis and sleep coding. Just before we get into the builds, I'd like to remind people that breaking Fatalis' head at least once during Phase 2 or Phase 3 makes the fight significantly easier, and the builds are designed around this concept. Also, if you're not on cannon duty in multiplayer, you can remove the artillery decos for any extra damage or survivability decos instead. These builds are based off my experiences and what I've personally used to kill Fatalis. Feel free to change them and edit them as you wish. Let's get to the builds. The first build was made for people who are going for their first few kills and don't have access to any Fatalis gear. It uses 2 pieces of Silverlos and 2 pieces of USJ for the true critical element and a Brachydios helm to help with the skills. For the most part, it has essential bow skills and stamina skills, and unlike other bow builds, I've tried to squeeze in as much part breaker as possible, and also putting in health boost 3 to avoid being one shot. Once again, the aim is to break Fatalis' head in phase 2 or early phase 3. There's also Fortify in the build to help with damage and survivability if you end up dying. For the Fatalis fight with this early build, mantle skills are essential, so I've put Heavy Artillery 4 on the Glider Mantle and the third part breaker as well. Remember that you can always farcast and change mantles during the fight, so having a mantle rotation is nice to have. You can also put heavy artillery on the temporal mantle if you end up using the roaming ballista frequently while Fatalis is grounded. The second build uses one piece of Fatalis' armor and helps significantly with slotting skills in. Again, the build uses 2 pieces of Silverlos armor and 2 pieces of USJ armor for the TCE, but this time the leggings are a Fatalis piece. The one Fatalis piece is a straight up upgrade to the first build as it provides a couple more decoration slots whilst keeping the same skills as the previous build. I've used the extra slots for the third part breaker and a normal shot decoration, but you can opt to put in heavy artillery, other survivability skills, or tool specialist. Personally, when using this build, I still use mantles for heavy artillery 4 deco and replace the third part breaker, which is now on the armor, for crit eye. The third build uses 4 pieces of Fatalis and 1 piece Alatreon and has the option for maximum utility and comfort. I use this build or similar to farm Fatalis after getting enough armor pieces. With the huge amount of deco space, you can fit the 3 part breaker and heavy artillery on the armor pieces and even stamina surge 3. With Transcendence set bonus, you'll have access to a range of useful skills like max health, stamina cap up, and spare shot, which provides you with a chance to not use your power coating. This is a huge damage increase for the fight, so it's really important. Additionally, because this armor set has a huge amount of deco slots, you have the option to sub out attack decos for even more utility skills like tool specialist or survivability like Divine Blessing. This ended up being about 3 to 5 minutes faster than the average time of the earlier builds. Okay, so let's go over a couple of cheese builds. The first cheese build is based around the cannon opener, stealthing in with ghillie, double bombing the head. I also included a shaver deco on this since there's time to weaken the head before walling Fatalis. You can then farcast and change back to your regular gear. The main decos for this are part breaker, bombardier, and heavy artillery.
head should be effective in weakening its powerful breath attack.
Make use of the ballistae and cannons!
Now for the second cheese build. In my opinion, poisoning, rebombing, and using the last cannon on Fatalis is overkill, but it's optional if you're really struggling to finish off Fatalis. It uses 2 pieces of Rathian gear for poison duration up, heavy artillery for the cannons, and bombardier for bomb damage. I played around with this during phase 2 and 3, but I recommend using it in phase 3 because you may not want to deal more damage to non-head parts before reaching phase 3. Hopefully you guys found these builds useful, and good luck with your hunts.